Yo, did you just buy a vinyl cutter and a heat press and you don't know what to do with it yet? Let me help you out.
Fat Man Scoop, Brooklyn Clan, what's up y'all? This is Fat Man Scoop. And right now, you watching the sensei, the number one, the king, my dude, Big Brando. He taught me, personally, me, Fat Man Scoop. All you gotta do is keep your mouth closed and your ears open. Listen to the man talk. That's knowledge personified right there, and I wouldn't trust nobody else but my dude, Big Brando. And I said it. Fat Man Scoop, Big Brando, let's go!
What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando. And did you just buy some new equipment and you don't know what to do with it yet, or you don't know how to get started? Because this is a very common thing for a lot of people out there. Now, chances are you probably watched some TikTok videos and you've seen somebody using a Cricut or a Cameo, and then you've seen that same Cricut and Cameo at Walmart or at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, wherever you bought it from. Or maybe you ordered on Amazon. You said, yeah, this seems like a cool way to make some money. I know I can make some t-shirts. I could do some custom cut invitations. I can make some decals. You could do all kind of things, right? But let's say you got that equipment on sale and it just got delivered today, and now you're just looking at the box because you don't know what to do with it. Let me try to help you out and help you get started. If you're in this same boat, jump on YouTube. Type in the same exact cutter that you have and watch some tutorials, watch some setup videos, and then watch some content creators and maybe subscribe to those content creators that you vibe with, that you can listen to, that you can learn from, and that's giving you good information, because there's a million of them out there. There's a million channels out there showing you how to use your new Cricut or your new Cameo or whatever vinyl cutter that you have. Now, before you break open that heat press, learn the vinyl cutter first. So my suggestion would be to buy some decal vinyl. Decal vinyl is way cheaper than heat transfer vinyl. Heat transfer vinyl is what's going on the t-shirts. Decal vinyl is what you make stickers out of. Now, I say learn with decal vinyl because you need to learn how to cut and weed the vinyl. If you make some mistakes with the decal vinyl, so be it, it's not that expensive. But if you make mistakes with the heat transfer vinyl, now you're wasting a lot of valuable material, and that material costs a lot more than decal vinyl. So learn to make your mistakes with the decal vinyl. A lot cheaper for you, won't hurt the bank. Now, the first thing I would try to do is I would do a lot of text designs, because you're going to be doing a lot of custom text work. So make sure you know how to manipulate that software, add some cool fonts on there, how to size it up, size it down, send it to the cutter, know how deep the blade needs to be to cut this certain vinyl out. This is practice. This is what's going to help you get going. Practice is key. Nobody opens up the box and knows how to do everything right away. Even myself, I've owned vinyl cutters for the last 15, 18, 20 years or so, and I still have a hard time figuring out new equipment and stuff like that. And I even reference YouTube videos now for my Cameo Plus because I don't know everything. So like I said, this is just repetition. This is just going to get you into your workflow. This is going to teach you how to use your machine. This is going to teach you how to weed up vinyl. This is going to show you what's easiest and what's best for yourself. But also, when you're learning, you don't want to waste a lot of money, so use that decal vinyl. You could buy it from anywhere. You could go back to Michael's, you could buy it on Amazon, you could check the links in my description box, whatever is easiest for you and whatever fits your budget. Now you're probably thinking, well, what kind of decal should I make if I'm practicing? Make decals for everything. Start putting labels on everything in your house. If you and your kids have those little like hydro flasks or Yeti tumblers or Stanleys or whatever you have, start putting decals on that. Practice with your kids' names. Practice with your own name. Make one that says salt, make one that says pepper, and then put it on your salt and pepper shakers. All you have to do is just get into the flow of things. That's all you're doing. Making small little decals, learning how to load the vinyl into your cutter, learning the cut speeds, how deep to cut. Make the mistakes now, right? If you're cutting too deep and you start cutting through the backing of that decal, then obviously the blade's too deep. Now, if you go through the whole cut and you can't weed nothing up, it's because the blade wasn't deep enough. This is where you start making the minor adjustments. All right, now that you got your vinyl cutter situated, you know how to load the vinyl, you know how deep the blade needs to be, you know how to manipulate the software, you feel pretty good and confident. Now let's start making t-shirts. Get you some heat transfer vinyl. You can use the links in my bio. I use EconoTransfer heat transfer vinyl. Easy to apply, easy to cut, very inexpensive, but you can use whoever you want. I have links in the description box for vinyl, or if you feel comfortable going back to Joann's and Michael's, that's cool for now. But remember, it's always cheaper to order more. So when I say I use people like EconoTransfer, it's because they offer 20-inch rolls by the yard, and it's way cheaper going that route than buying from a retail box store. That's all. But now that you got your heat press opened up, doesn't matter what heat press you have. Maybe you have that big square one that looks like a big iron. Maybe you bought one on Amazon or eBay, or maybe you got the same one that I use. I use the Heat Press Nation Signature Pro. Whatever heat press it is, this is gonna be a major part of your business. A few key things to remember. Every heat transfer vinyl or transfer or sublimation paper, whatever you're using, comes with application instructions. Nothing applies at the same degrees, nothing applies at the same duration time, nothing applies with the same exact settings. You could have 4 different heat transfer vinyls in black from 4 different companies, and they'll all have different application instructions. A lot of people think, oh, this is just black HTV, I'm gonna press it at this or whatever it is. Doesn't work that way. Everything comes with instructions on how to apply something correctly. Go based off of those instructions. Now, those instructions aren't the law. Those instructions are what works for the company and their press in-house. You have to tailor make those instructions to your own heat press. When I say that, I mean you're gonna have to make minor adjustments. Sometimes you might have to bump the heat up a little bit. Sometimes you might have to lower it. Sometimes you might have to add more pressure. It all depends. But the instructions that's provided is a good starting point. You as the business owner need to have some practice with whatever you're pressing onto the shirts. You have to get familiar with your heat press. You gotta know your settings. You gotta know what you're pressing on. So that way you can make the adjustments as needed before you start offering stuff to customers. This is all repetition. This is all practice. Everybody needs this practice. So let's say you're using heat transfer vinyl. The instructions say to press it at 310 degrees for 7 seconds with heavy pressure. This is what you dial in on your heat press. 310 degrees, you need to do it for 7 seconds. Get your pressure right. If it's heavy pressure, max it out. This is the heaviest that it's gonna go. Now, if this is your first time pressing, everybody wants a successful first press. Everybody wants that shirt to be done perfect. You pick it up and you're like, man, this is the best thing I've ever made in my life. Try to get that out of your head. What I highly suggest is just taking some heat transfer vinyl, send it through your cutter and just cut out a bunch of different circles. Like, let's say do like 6 or 8 little circles, right? You're not gonna waste too much vinyl. This is gonna give you a good time to weed up some heat transfer vinyl. And then you cut each circle out individually with some scissors, right? So now you have a square of backing and then you have a circle of vinyl on there. You have 6 or 8. What you're gonna do with these 6 or 8 pieces is test out different settings with each circle. So the first circle, lay it on the t-shirt, heat press it down at the recommended instructions that was provided with the vinyl, right? So we said it was 310, 7 seconds, heavy pressure. Press that one up, peel it up, looks good. Everything usually looks good after the press pops up and you peel it off. Everything usually looks good. What we're testing for is how they react in the wash. So after you do that first circle, move the shirt up a little bit. Now take the next circle, adjust the heat. Go up 5 degrees. So we're at 310, go to 315 for 7 seconds. Boom, press that one down. Peel it up, slide the shirt up a little bit more. Adjust it another 5. So now we're at 320, 7 seconds, boom, press that one down. Now move the shirt over, go back to the top, and now adjust your press to go a little lower. So we're at 310, go down to 305, boom, press that for 7 seconds. See how that one peels up? Slide the shirt down, do the next one. This sounds very boring. 1, you're not putting any cool designs on the t-shirt. 2, you're just putting some circles onto this t-shirt. And 3, this isn't the glamorous part of the business. But as the business owner, you need to do this part to understand how your shirt's gonna react in the wash. Because once you send off a t-shirt to a customer and they wash it and then it starts to peel up or it's cracking or something's wrong with it, they're gonna come back to you and say, what's up with my t-shirt? Why is that thing peeling up? Why'd the whole design fall off? First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna blame the transfer. You're gonna be like, oh man, that heat transfer vinyl sucks. Sorry about that, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna make you look bad as a business, but that person's not gonna recommend you to anybody else because they're like, man, I bought a t-shirt from this person and that thing fell off. So we're trying to minimize that. By minimizing that, I'm talking about doing your research first. So you're gonna be pressing these circles on, you're gonna throw that shirt into the wash. Once you throw it into the wash, machine dry it, then machine wash it again and machine dry it. Anytime somebody's doing laundry, you just keep throwing that thing in there. That way you can see how this thing reacts. You need to know what the customer's receiving, right? So by that time, you're gonna get it out and then you're gonna see some circles fell off, some circles stayed on. The ones that stayed on and look the best, that is the best setting for your heat press and the vinyl you plan to use. I do this for everything. If I'm testing out new transfers, if I'm testing out new heat transfer vinyl, whatever I'm pressing on, I need to make sure I know how it reacts in the wash, how many washes I could get out of something. I need to be confident that the customer is going to wash that shirt and it's going to be good. No issues whatsoever. Now, the way to do that is to do this testing part. Nobody that buys equipment that's brand new to this business wants to do this part because it's boring. Everybody wants to just start cutting out designs and then press them on the shirts and then ship them off. Everybody just wants to get to the money. I always say this in all my videos. You do not get rich off of one transaction. You get rich off of returning customers. If you send off a t-shirt and after one wash, that heat transfer vinyl falls off or that transfer falls off, that customer's not coming back. So that $20 shirt you sold them, that's it, $20 long and gone. You need that customer to keep coming back to you. You need that customer to tell their friends and family about you. That's how you're gonna bring in the money. I hope that makes sense to somebody. You gotta remember, it's not the transfer, it's not the heat transfer vinyl. If there's any issues with it, it's the way that you pressed it down. The transfer's good. Heat transfer vinyl's good. These companies are putting out solid products. You, the business owner, have to do your due diligence and learn how to lay these things down. If you don't, you're gonna have issues with your customers, and I'm trying to minimize that because you gotta remember, we live in this age where the internet, one bad review could cripple the whole business. So if you just barely got some new equipment, I hope the information shared here helps you out. If you guys got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments for me. Follow me on Instagram, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.